Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name is Josh Hall. This is the SCSRA Morrss Customs Truck Series here from Bristol Motor Speedway. We're getting ready for an action-packed race here tonight. Sorry about the little bit of a late start. Got a couple issues here on my end that I'm working out, but we are here and getting ready for action. Do apologize for the stutter. We are working on getting that fixed right now, and bear with me for a moment. I'm going to put up the records rewind for a moment so I can see if I can get that a little bit better under control. Looks like we might have gotten it fixed here. Let's take a look at our points coming into tonight. We see Cody Moore up at the top of the board. He's got a win. Eddie Morrss with a win as well. Joe Wright sits in third. Jeffrey Belk fourth. Devin Bacino back in fifth. Colin Williams sixth. Dustin Dean, Zachary Cox, Jason Kraft, our only rookie in the top 10. Derek Chaput, Austin Blaylock, and Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. This qualifying is getting ready to get away here. Again, we want to thank everybody who's watching here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch. We do appreciate you joining in here tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, one of the first drivers out on track. The distance tonight will be 140 laps around this quick half-mile speedway. Brett Merrill currently up at the top of the board. As Cheeseburger comes down the backstretch and into turns 3 and 4. Ooh, catches that apron just a little bit. And he's going to come across the line in the third position. Zachary Cox just moved up to second, and Cody Moore up into the second position now. Jacob Alberg just went up into the second spot with Dustin Dean going up to the top spot. Timothy Stubblefield just took the green flag. Down into turns 3 and 4, running that higher lane. And catches the wall. Unfortunately, that's going to kill his qualifying time. There's Cody Moore. Just came across the line, P5. Austin Blaylock. Just took the green flag, coming down to take the white flag. And Blaylock's going to come across the stripe and up into... He's going to stay up, move up into the 10th position. Jake McCarty just went P3 on his first lap. See what he's able to do here on his second lap. He's going to stay in P3. David Wright, currently 10th. We'll see if he's able to improve here on his second lap. He's going to stay P10. So quite a few drivers left to qualify. Dave Hotzma, Joe Wright, Edward Manning, Devin Butchino, Eddie Morrss, and Michael Provolt all left to qualify. Here comes Joe Wright out on track now. Joe's going to take off again, try it all over again. Eddie Morrss also sitting here getting ready to make his qualifying attempt. Edward Manning in the 69 rolling off pit road. Joe Wright just took the green flag. See what he's able to do here on his first of 2 laps. Wright's going to jump up to the 2nd position on his first lap. See if he can find a little bit more speed here on his 2nd lap. No, he's going to catch the wall. But his first lap's good enough for the 2nd position. Edward Manning just took the white flag, currently up in the... Well, it looks like he might have caught the wall on his first lap, so he did not set a time on his first lap. Yeah, you see the damage to the right side of that truck and across the line, and Manning goes P16. Eddie Morrss just took the green flag. He goes P9 on his first lap. Returns 3 and 4 across the stripe. And Morrss knocks Joe down a spot in the P2. How about Cheeseless Crackers Racing? 1, 2, 3 currently on the board with 4 minutes left here in qualifying. And Devin Butchino making his way out on track. Really tight there against the wall. Coming across the stripe on his first lap. That's going to be good enough for the 10th position. See if he's able to improve on that time here on his 2nd lap. Nice and solid through turns 1 and 2. Down to the stripe. And Butchino is going to go P1. Knocking Dustin Dean off the pole. And with just under 3 minutes left here, we have 3 drivers who have yet to qualify. That'd be Michael Provolt, Dave Hoitzma, and Sylvain Seguin. Of course, I want to thank all of our great partners here at Intensity Broadcasting. Of course, Race EPI for all your iRacing setups and coaching needs. Visit raceepi.com. Also, IntensityBroadcasting.com for all your league and Intensity merchandise. Check us out there at IntensityBroadcasting.com. There is a sale going on for some merch there as well, so you can check that out. Details are on our Facebook page. As well as our series sponsor, Morrss Customs. If you need yourself a new iRacing whip, check out Morrss Customs on Facebook at Morrss Customs. Of course, our great partner here at Intensity with the Butt Kicker. Of course, Putt Kicker is an established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel ultra-low frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. The patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus is the new and upgraded sim racing haptic that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. To check out the full line of butt kicker products and figure out which one's right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. And it looks like the 97 of Dave Hoytsma is getting ready to make his qualifying attempt. And he's going to pull off here on the front stretch, see if he's going to make another run at it. Takes the green flag. Runs that lower line. Ooh, loses it down there in the corner. Loops it around. Able to keep it off the wall. It looks like that's going to end his qualifying attempt as we have just 5 seconds left here in qualifying as we get ready to take a look at our starting grid. And starting on pole tonight is the 68 of Devin Buchno with Dustin Dean in the second position. Row 2, we'll see Eddie Morrss and Joe Wright teammates making up row number 2, followed by Jacob Albert and Jake McCarty. Row 4, we'll find Colin Williams and Brett Merle, followed by Cody Moore and Brian Merle Jr. Jeffrey Belk and Timothy Stubblefield will make up row number 6. Row 7 will be Dave Wright and Austin Blaylock, with Zachary Cox and Michael Dunn back in row number 8. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence and Edward Manning make up row 9, with Dave Hoytsma and Sylvan Seguin back in row 10, followed by Michael Provolt in the final spot here tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway. So as the field gets lined up here on the front stretch, we get ready for 2 pace laps before we get racing underway. First lap or stage tonight will end on lap number 50. So we'll have a guaranteed caution on lap 50 as the field gets ready to roll off to do battle here at the world's fastest half mile, the last great Coliseum here at Bristol Motor Speedway. So the field gets set for one more pace lap before we get underway. Devin Buchno will be the control truck, getting ready to lead these 21 drivers down to the starting line for 140 laps. Of course, as we saw in qualifying, race laps are just under 15 seconds long, so 4 laps a minute. The race will click by pretty quickly, so we'll have to see what kind of strategy some of these drivers employ. But here we go. Pace car getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn down onto pit road. But you know, it leads him down to the starting zone. Green flag is in the air, and we are racing here at Bristol. Already side by side down into turn number 1. But you know, getting the advantage off of turn number 2. Eddie Morrss going to slide up into that 3rd position, and Joe Wright struggling right now. He's got the 000 of Jacob Alberg, who just took the position away and moved himself up into the 4th position. Colin Williams working down underneath McCarty, and he's trying to take over that position, trying to set his sights on Joe Wright. Ooh, almost some contact between Alberg and Wright there. These trucks can get really, really loose, especially when you're underneath somebody, as we see Dustin Dean making his way down on the pit road, and this looks like it might be a drive-through penalty for jumping the start. We see Dustin Dean getting his way back on track, but he is already 1 lap down. That's going to move Eddie Morrss up into the 2nd position. And Eddie tries to work around the 21. But a lot of racing left as the yellow flag is out, and it looks like it's for the 99 of Austin Blaylock. We see a lot of damage to the right side of that truck. That's going to bring out our wreckage rewind as we take a look to see what happened to the 99 of Austin Blaylock. Starts with Blaylock getting a little bit loose underneath the 97 of Hoytsma. Comes down into hard contact with the 62 of Michael Dunn. Michael Provolt gets a piece of it as well. So doesn't Edward Manning. And Sylvan Seguin just makes that solid contact with that left front there. So a tough break for Austin Blaylock, as well as Michael Provolt, Edward Manning, Sylvan Seguin, Michael Dunn. Who it's a huge break for, though, is the 21 of Dustin Dean, who will be able to get a wave around and get himself back on the lead lap. So Devin Butchino will be your leader. Eddie Morrss in 2nd. Joe Wright and Jake McCarty back in row number 2 on this restart. As the lights on the pace car should be shutting off next time by. And I take that back. It doesn't look like Dustin Dean will be getting the lucky dog this time by. He might have made some contact with somebody as the yellow flag came out, and that will cancel the lucky dog on iRacing. So looks like we're going to re-rack, restack, and get ready to refire. Devin Butchino is going to take that high lane here on the restart. That's going to put Eddie Morrss down on the bottom. Pace car off onto pit road. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing here at Bristol. Eddie Morrss trying to mount a charge on that low lane. But here comes Devin Butchno with the run up on the high side. Butch thought maybe he'd have a little bit more of an advantage on the start up on that high side, but Eddie Morrss was showing some speed down there, and here comes McCarty down to the bottom, or down up on the high side, trying to get around Eddie Morrss on the bottom. So Butch gets clear of Eddie Morrss, but he's still battling here with Jake McCarty as Joe Wright and Cody Moore now get single file right behind. And Cody makes big contact between Cody Moore and the 11 of Brett Merle. Brett Merle was up in the air. He was able to keep it straight, though, as Cody Moore and teammate Colin Willems almost get into it as well. Oh, Colin gets loose. Makes contact with Brian Merle Jr. No caution. I think that was Jacob Alberg that was involved in that one as well. And we stay green. Let's take a look at this one to see exactly what happened here. We saw Colin Willems get really loose here off the corner. Gets into the side. Almost gets inside of Brett Merle. And then we see Jeff Belk run in the back of Brian Merle Jr. And yep, there's Alberg also making some contact. Hard contact as Colin Willems goes up and in the air. Almost goes over the pit road fence. And that does it for Colin as we stay green. Brian Merle Jr. still out on track. Did not use his reset yet. He's trying to get himself to the stage break or the next yellow. He is currently, looks like 2 laps down at the moment. Meanwhile, up front, Devin Butchno pulling away as Cody Moore now makes his way down on the pit road, and I think he's got too much damage. Looks like Cody might be retiring as well. So Devin Butchno with almost a 2-second lead over Eddie Morrss, who has Jake McCarty in a side-by-side battle with Joe Wright, but McCarty's going to pull back ahead of the 82. Joe tries to use that low lane, but ooh, a little slide job there. Almost some contact between those two drivers as they continue to battle side-by-side. And just behind, we see the 11 of Brett Merle, who was, again, up in the air just a few moments ago. Now finds himself running in the 5th position, watching this battle in front. Edward Manning trying to make his way around Michael Provolt. We are halfway to the stage. That'd be a good time to do one of my favorite things in the world, and that is pump up the intensity. I appreciate you letting me know. I had my microphone muted. I muted it during the crank it up there, and I apologize for that. So we saw the caution there. That was between the 00 and his teammate. So we're going to re-rack them, restack them, and get ready to refire them, as we have just 2 trucks that are currently being scored 1 lap down. That's Edward Manning and Brian Merle Jr. Big jump for Devin Butchno on the start. Green flag's back in the air. Joe Wright immediately taking advantage of the wheel. Might have a little bit of wheel spin out of the 8 machine of Eddie Morrss, because Joe was able to get right on by. Here comes Brett Merle trying to make a move down underneath his teammate, the 10 of Jake McCarty. Now Jeffrey Belk to the outside of the 11. So move Jeffrey Belk up into the 5th position. A little further back, we see Dustin Dean, after getting his lap back, trying to move his way back through the field, giving a shove to Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, trying to get around the 97 of Dave Hoytsma. And almost some 3-wide racing here for Isaias Hoytsma. Was kind of stuck in the middle there. He's going to lose a couple positions. Meanwhile, we see Timothy Stubblefield. Oh, with the wreck behind Stubblefield. Big wreck behind. Sylvan Seguin involved. Zachary Cox is in this one as well, and that is going to bring up another wreckage rewind as we take a look to see exactly what just happened here. A moment while I find this one, because that was quite a few drivers right there. See, right behind Timothy Stubblefield, Brian Merle Jr. and Zachary Cox. Trying to go 3 wide with Sylvan here. And Cox and Seguin here are coming off the... Oh, Sylvan kind of pushed up the track a little bit, caught the outside wall. Brian Merle Jr. had nowhere to go. That upsets the 66, sends him down the track into Zachary Cox, and then Brian Merle Jr. again just nowhere to go. Look at Austin Blaylock just sneaking through there. And that is going to bring the entire field down pit road. And Dustin Dean and Michael Provolt will be your leaders. So in the chat, we've got Lucas, who said, great broadcast so far. Appreciate that, even though you couldn't hear me for part of it. And Jessica Stubblefield says, go Stub Nation. As we saw, we were looking at Timothy Stubblefield when the wreck happened right behind him. Trying to find out if this is indeed the stage, or if they're going to have a little green-white checkered for the stage end. See Jeffrey Bell coming down pit road to top off. The lights are off on the pace car. Dustin Dean will be the control car on the low side. Put Michael Provo up on the high side as they come to the Geico restart zone. Remember, you're not allowed to, as the leader, you cannot start accelerating before you hit that Geico restart zone. It's your obligation to go anywhere inside that zone. If you do not fire off before the end of that zone, the green flag will come out on its own and racing will resume as the green flag is now in the air. Another great jump for our leader as Dustin Dean gets out in front of Michael Provo. Devin Butchino immediately down to the inside of Provo. He's going to have to tuck it back in line behind Provo now. Provo has that damage to his truck, but does not look like it's slowing him down too much. And there's the stage caution right there as Dustin Dean gets the stage win. Michael Provo comes in second. Devin Butchino in third. Joe Wright fourth. Jake McCarty back in the fifth position. Brett Merle in sixth. Eddie Morrss seventh. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence back in eighth. Dave Wright ninth. And Dave Hoytsma round out the top 10 of stage points. So Dustin Dean will get 1 playoff point along with 10 bonus points for winning the stage. 9 points to Michael Provo. 8 to Devin Butchino on back through the top 10 as Dustin Dean immediately hits pit road. And Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence stays out. Now Cheeseburger was last on pit road on lap 37, so his tires are a little bit fresher than Dustin Dean's were, but does not have the same freshness of the tires behind him as Devin Butchino was in on lap number 46. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night. Atlee Atman Weiss will have the call as the SCSRA Xfinity Series gets ready to get back under action from Michigan Speedway. So high speed 2-mile track tomorrow night. Michigan always puts on a great show, so join us tomorrow night for the Dev Sports Cards Xfinity Series. Of course, don't forget to join us on Sunday nights for the iRacing North Super Series. They've been putting on a great show in the street stocks. Last week they were at Myrtle Beach Speedway, which was a fantastic race. And this week, they'll be taking on New Smyrna Speedway. So check out all the great action here on Intensity Broadcasting. Of course, next week, our truck series moves on to Rockingham Speedway, classic NASCAR track. Always great racing at the Rock, so check that one out next week, same time here on Intensity Broadcasting. Of course, our Doghouse Racing League just entered their playoffs as well. They start up just before this race at 8 o'clock, so tune in Tuesdays before the SCSRA as their season has about 4 races left, and they move on to Nashville Fairgrounds next week. But here we go, pace car pulling back onto pit road. Michael Provolt in the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. Look at the jump that Butchino got on that high side. He timed that perfectly as he's trying to find a way around that 95 machine, but Profi's going to hold on to that top spot. Meanwhile, just behind, we see Jake McCarty and Joe Wright going at it side by side. McCarty got a little loose there, even though he's able to clear Joe Wright, move himself up into the third spot. Eddie Morrss and Dave Wright both making their way around Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence up into the 8th position. And Devin Butchino down on pit road. We said he got a great jump on that start, maybe too good of a start, as he is now having to do a drive-through penalty for jumping the start, or the restart, I should say. So just like Dustin Dean did on the initial start, Devin Butchino finds himself a lap and a half down. As Michael Provolt continues the lead here at Bristol, we see Jake McCarty and Joe Wright. Oh, big wreck. Austin Blaylock is around. Huge pile up here on the front stretch. See Stubblefield, Dave Wright involved as well. This is going to bring up another wreckage rewind. As they're trying to work around the lap truck of Devin Butchino. See Dustin Dean up on the high side. Oh, it actually happened in front. It started with Dave Wright up in front. So let's rewind this a little bit further. We'll find... Oh, Dave Wright did what Colin Williams did, just tried to get to the throttle a little quickly, looped it around, and the back end jumps around on him. Right in front of the field, Jeffrey Belk gets a little piece of it. Dustin Dean catches the wall. Austin Blaylock gets tagged from behind, trying to slow down. Timothy Stubblefield just nowhere to go, runs into the side of Cheeseburger. There's Brian Merle Jr. getting some more damage there. Tough break for a lot of drivers there. Austin Blaylock was able to get slowed down. So Michael Provolt back up into the lead still. Jake McCarty moves up into second. How about Provolt? 20 positions from where he started he's gained so far. So a little bit of pit strategy working out his way. And he finds himself leading here. As we are almost to the halfway mark. Come to the start finish line this time. The lights on the pace car should be shutting off this time. Michael Provolt will restart on the low side with Jake McCarty up on the high side. Pace car getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn. Down on the pit road. So we're re-racked, restacked, and getting ready to refire here at Bristol. Here comes Provolt into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing. You see McCarty laying back quite a bit there. He did not want to fall victim of the restart violation. Although Joe Wright out in front of Brett Merle, but Brett's trying to look for a move down to the inside. As McCarty's slowly running down Michael Provolt. Dustin Dean looking down underneath the 97 Hoytsma. Hoytsma fighting hard on that high side. Catches the wall a little bit. That's going to slow him down, allow Dustin Dean to take over that fifth position. As Michael Provolt quickly has Jake McCarty and Joe Wright as the yellow flag is in the air. Ooh, another big wreck. Eddie Morrss involved in this one. Along with Sylvain Seguin and the pace car almost involved as it drives right on through. And that's going to bring up another wreckage rewind. Try to see exactly where this one started. Oh, Eddie Morrss caught the wall a little bit ago, and he just got loose down by himself. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence able to avoid it. Up on the wall, though, Brian Merle Jr. has nowhere to go. There's Devin Butchno getting a little piece as well. Dave Wright gets a little piece of it. We see Sylvain Seguin just nowhere to go, comes plowing in as well. So a tough break for quite a few drivers there. So in regards to some of the penalties that we saw earlier, it looks like there might be an issue with iRacing recognizing the leader up on the high side. So we'll continue to watch that here as a couple drivers have gotten some black flags that did not seem warranted. But we'll continue to update you as we know more information. That's the word that I just got from the admins and the race control. So I see Brian Merle Jr. on pit road. A lot of damage to that truck. Unfortunately, his day is pretty much all but over. Same with Sylvain Seguin. You see the damage to the front of that machine. He is in rough shape as well. And Edward Manning, also a lot of damage to that machine. So a couple drivers on pit road trying to get some damage fixed. One driver who's got some damage and it's working out in his favor right now. That's the 95 of Michael Provolt. He is still out in front as your leader as the lights are off on the pace car. So we'll re-rack him, restack him, get ready to refire him here. As we are just past the halfway point. Again, due to those issues, we see Michael Provolt down on the low side. Coming down to the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. We are back racing, and see another jump on that outside. McCarty had a great restart there. We'll have to see if he gets the black flag here for jumping the restart, as he's able to clear Provolt up on that high side and move himself up into the lead. There you see it, the 10 having to slow down and make his way down onto pit road for jumping the start. That's going to give Brett Merle the lead. So Brett Merle, who was up in the air after making some contact with Cody Moore at the beginning of the race, now sees himself up in the lead. Dustin Dean trailing, and Michael Provolt now falling to third position as Dustin Dean takes a look down to the inside. Just not able to close that gap and take over the lead. Gonna take another look here again. But Brett just too strong up on that high side. That's typical Bristol right now with these tires. When they're new, that high lane's gonna be the advantage, but as the tires wear off, look for these drivers to start to move around just a little bit, trying to find some grip. Another battle back here. We see Austin Blaylock, Devin Bucchino. Bucchino now up into the 8th position. Just behind, we see Dave Wright and Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence going at it, with Timothy Stubblefield and Eddie Morrss right behind as well. So little battles all over the track as Joe Wright takes a look down to the inside of Michael Provolt. How about this? Jacob Albert in the 00 machine up in the top 5 and continuing to hold on to that position. Joe Wright takes over that 3rd spot. Now Jacob Albert taking a look down to the inside. Joe trying to make a move on Brett Merle as Dustin Dean now takes over the lead. And almost some contact between Merle and Wright, as they were just both a little bit out of shape there. See Joe Wright having a little bit of a connection issue right there. Brian Merle Jr. makes his way off pit road. He is multiple laps down, but back out on track, trying to get every point that he can. As Joe Wright moves himself up into the 2nd position, we see the scuff, the battle wound on that 11 machine from earlier in the race, where he made some contact with Cody Moore. Right behind, we see Jacob Albert making a look down underneath the 95 of Michael Provolt. And Devin Bucchino right here as well. So Butch showing some speed right now, trying to get himself back up towards the front to give himself an opportunity to win it. Meanwhile, Dustin Dean has his teammate right here. As Joe Wright's looking for a way around the 21 of Dustin Dean. And Dean's going to let the 82 right on by. He sees he's a little bit quicker, so move Joe Wright up to the point here on lap 95 of 140. Devin Bucchino looking down to the inside of his teammate. And we've got a caution on track. No caution, but the 97 of Hoytsma just wrecked as Dustin Dean makes his way back around Joe Wright. Not a wreckage rewind, but let's see what happened to the 97. So he was racing with Eddie Morrss. Oh, both of them made a little contact with the wall. When it gets hard up into the inside wall, and you hear the motor blow with that pop, and that's going to do it for the 97. See Brett Merrill currently in a little bit of a tail slide. He's falling backwards quickly. Battling with Jeff Belk for the 5th position. Oh, Joe Wright around on the front stretch. Caution is out. And that is going to bring up a wreckage rewind. Joe Wright right here. He's got the 00 right behind him. And Alberg overdrove the corner just a little bit. Looks like a little bit of contact and then a little bit of net code afterwards. Doesn't look like it was too severe of contact. But the second hit, it almost looked like a little bit of net code that sent that 82 into a spin. After Joe was having such a great run. Austin Blaylock also down on pit road. A little bit of damage he's going to have to get fixed up here. Believe Joe might still have his reset. We'll see if this truck pops back into place, which it does. So Dustin Dean will be your leader. And Eddie Morrss finds himself in the 2nd position. Eddie Morrss from Searsville, Tennessee. It's a home track for him. Trying to get himself his 2nd win of the season. But before he can do that, he's got to get around his teammate, Dustin Dean. Also a hard-charging Devin Butchno from behind, and Devin's Neon Racing teammate, the 11 of Brett Merrill, right behind him as well. So when we take the green flag, we'll have just 35 laps to go. Pace car makes his way onto pit road. Dustin Dean's going to lead him down to the Geico restart zone. Green flag is in the air. We are racing here again as Brett Merrill makes his way around Eddie Morrss. And Eddie just does not have the restart that he wanted, as Devin Butchno now up into the 2nd position. He is trying to make his way towards Dustin Dean to take over the lead. Butch using that low lane. Dustin up on the high side. Devin's got much fresher tires, though. He was back on pit road on lap 101, where Dustin Dean was on 57. Caution is out. And oh no, it looks like it was for the 79 of Timothy Stubblefield. That's going to bring up another wreckage rewind as we take a look to see exactly what happened to the 79 here. Looks like he might have had a little bit of help here from the 99 of Austin Blaylock. Nope, just got up into the wall, and then he did. Austin finished him off, but he definitely did get up into the wall beforehand. So tough break. So he takes a hard impact on that inside wall. Comes back across the track, right in front of McCarty, and McCarty was able to time that perfectly, allowed him to get on by. And Dustin Dean is on pit road, getting his final service. And it looks like Zachary Cox is going to get the lucky dog. As we're nearing the completion of this race, Devin Butchnow has the lead over teammate Brett Merle. And Michael Provolt and Eddie Morris run back in row number 2. Both of them, actually, Provolt came down on pit road and got tires and fuel on lap 101. Eddie hasn't been on pit road since lap 74. So his tires are the oldest right now, except for Zachary Cox, who's been out on his tires since lap 43. Also not racing related, but good luck to anybody who bought the Mega Millions tickets here tonight. Drawing for that's in about a half an hour. As the field gets double file yet again, we get re-racked, restacked, and ready to go. Green flag racing. Devin Butchnow down on the low side. Brett Merle on the high side. Pace car down on the pit road. Green flag is back in the air. You see how conservative that top lane's being. We've seen a number of drivers get the black flag up on that high lane. And oh, almost some contact. Jeffrey Belk gets loose. Almost made some contact. They're 3 wide behind, almost 4 wide. As Belk's going to lose quite a few positions, falls back into the 11th position. Michael Provolt battling side by side with Brett Merle for the 2nd position. But Provy just not able to make that move, and Brett's going to stay up in the 2nd position. Meanwhile, we see Justin Dean trying to get around Mike Dunn. Dean almost used the front bumper to try to move the 62. Just in front, we see Eddie Morrss again on those older tires. He's got a hard-charging Mike Dunn down to the inside. Dustin Dean now looks up to the outside. Dean tries to make it 3 wide, almost makes contact with Dunn and his teammate. Dunn had to get out of it. He's going to lose quite a few positions as he gets shuffled back 3 wide. Austin Blaylock taking advantage, getting around McCarty. Here comes Dunn trying to push back along with Jeff Belk. Meanwhile, Michael Provolt and Joe Wright are side by side. This is a battle for the 3rd position. Just 20 laps to go here at Bristol. And Provolt falls back into that 3rd position. Here comes Dustin Dean, though. Dustin Dean showing some speed here in the late running. Currently the fastest truck on the track. As he's going to take a look down to the inside of Michael Provolt and take over that position. Then catches the wall. That allows Provolt to take a look down to the inside of him. Jeffrey Belk up to the outside of Jake McCarty. Puts him back in the 8th position as he looks down underneath Austin Blaylock. Trying to take over 7th. So another driver who's seeing red right now, driving with the red mist, as they say. Not too happy with what happened earlier. Now he finds himself up into the 7th position. As we have just 15 laps to go, Devin Buccino out in front of his teammate by 1.4 seconds. That's another 0.3 of a second back to Joe Wright as Eddie Morrss and Jeffrey Belk are going at it side by side. Belk's going to take that position away, move Belk up into 6th as he tries to run down Michael Provolt to get up into the top 5. Dustin Dean taking a look down underneath his teammate as they go down into turn number 3. Joe using that high lane to advantage, trying to keep up in front of Dustin Dean as they go side by side again down into turn number 3. This is what Brett Merle wants to see, is the side-by-side battle behind him, because that's going to slow those 2 drivers down. Might give him a chance to escape the clutches of these 2 drivers as we are coming to 10 laps to go. Devin Buccino across the stripe, 10 to go here at Bristol. And 3rd through 5th under a blanket, or 2nd through 5th under a blanket right now. As Joe Wright almost gets up in the wall. Dustin Dean takes another look. Oh, contact between Dustin and Joe. That allows Joe to retake that 3rd position solely to himself. Jacob Alberg and Jeffrey Belk are going at it here. This is a battle for 6th and 7th. Alberg on a little bit fresher tires, about 10 lap fresher tires, and we see the difference that makes as he moves up into the 6th spot. Eddie Morrss on those very old tires, just falling backwards right now as this battle is heating back up between these 3 drivers. Ooh, a little bump there from Dustin Dean, getting into the back of Joe. Devin Buccino comes across the stripe. We have just 5 laps to go. Dustin Dean going to use that bumper to move that 82 out of the way. Again, that's a teammate. Dustin trying to get himself up onto the podium. Joe Wright trying to make a move around the 11 of Brett Merle. More contact between Dustin and Joe. As we are coming to 3 laps to go. Dustin Dean taking a look down underneath Joe Wright this time. They're side by side down into turn number 1, and Dustin is going to clear Joe Wright. And he's going to try to get around Brett Merle at the same time, as Joe almost gets into the back bumper of Brett Merle. We have just 2 laps to go. Devin Butchino's clear sailing right now as Joe Wright almost gets into the back bumper of Brett Merle. He's going to take a dive down to the bottom as they come across the stripe. White flag is in the air. Devin Butchino, oh, some contact there between Joe Wright and Brett Merle. Joe gets the worst of it, though. Brett's able to hold on to it. Joe loses all his momentum, and coming through turns 3 and 4 for the final time, Devin Butchino gets the win here at Bristol. Dustin Dean comes home in second. Brett Merle in the 3rd spot. Joe Wright comes home 4th, and Jacob Alberg round out your top 5. But how about this? The 68 of Devin Butchino getting the win here tonight, celebrating with his teammate. As our top 3 make their way down onto the front stretch for their photo. Now Devin Butchino is going to celebrate his victory here. What a great win for Devin here tonight. Overcoming the adversity of the black flag, having to serve a drive-through penalty, getting himself back in position, and getting the win here tonight. Let's take a look at the final results. Devin Butchino again gets the win. Dustin Dean, Brett Merle, Joe Wright, and Jacob Alberg make up your top 5. Jeffrey Belk brings it home in 6th. Michael Proval in 7th. Jake McCarty back in 8th. Michael Lawrence and Austin Blaylock, your top 10. Eddie Morrss brings it back home in 11th. David Wright in 12th. Michael Dunn in the 13th position. Zachary Cox in 14th. Timothy Stubblefield comes back for a 15th place finish. Dave Hoytsma back in 16th. Brian Merrill Jr. in 17th. Sylvan Seguin in 18th. 19th, Edward Manning. Cody Moore and Colin Willems make up the rest of the field here tonight. As we see in the background, Devin Butchino making that Polish victory lap before we get ready to talk to our top 3. Starting with your 3rd place finisher, Brett Merle. Just give me a second to set up my screen here. So we can talk to our top 3 as they are getting into the booth right now. So just give me a second while everybody gets in there and we get ready to talk to our top 3. Starting with your 3rd place finisher here tonight, the driver of the 11 machine, Brett Merle. Brett, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you. What's going on, man?
Man, great run for you tonight. Great job for Neon altogether. Butch getting the win. You and McCarty both running up in the top 5 for most of the race. What was the strategy you had going on there, and what was the secret to getting around this place today or tonight? Because you showed a lot of speed.
I appreciate that. I think it looked better than it was for me. I was not that fast. I would say at best I was probably an 8th or 9th place truck. I think I was about P11 in practice and P8 in qualifying. If it wasn't for a couple of early heavy hitters quitting out or wrecking out or whatever happened there, I was probably a seventh or eighth fastest truck. So to come home P3 and lead a couple laps, I'm definitely happy with it. I really got to thank Joe Wright for not running me over. He was one of the fastest, if not the fastest, there at the end probably, and I was definitely holding him up on older tires.
Yeah, it seemed like towards the end there's a lot of beating and banging all the way through the field there, and a lot of respect for each other. But I'm sure you felt the bump was probably coming pretty soon.
Yeah, I think maybe one time he barely touched me. It came up and said contact, but I didn't feel it. I mean, big respect to Joe for not using the chrome horn there because I don't know if I would have been able to hang on to it. So once again, just much appreciated to him for running me as clean as he did.
For sure. And the tail of the tape tonight, not as many cautions as we normally see at a Bristol race tonight. Did that kind of change the momentum and kind of help you out in the long run, having the everybody kind of equal out and fall off on tires there?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that. I actually felt better on the first two laps. I felt like I was maybe just as good as anybody on the first two or three laps, and then that 5 to 15 lap run, I felt pretty weak, and then anything after that, I was probably one of the slowest on the track. Honestly, I'm not good at saving tires, and I think that the tire fall off was really big for me for the line that I was running. I could really, really feel it for sure.
Well, still a great run for you here tonight, Brett. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank, any shout you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta thank the entire team, Neon team, Dev with the win. Big shout out to him. Big shout out to Jake. I think he was one of those guys that was definitely faster than me. I would say he was probably a second or third place truck, and he got kind of messed over on that black flag on the outside. There was an incident on the outside, black flagging people, and he was a victim of that. And that's actually what gave me my laps to lead. So I just want to thank them. A big shout out to all the teammates and you guys up in the booth.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats and good luck next week. And we look forward to talking to you again soon.
I appreciate it. Thanks, man.
So that was your third place finisher, Brett Merle. Let's talk to our second place finisher, Dustin Dean. Dustin, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Josh.
Man, great run for you here tonight. Another one caught in the face of adversity, having to serve a black flag, getting themselves back on the lead lap and putting themselves in a good place there at the end. Some hard racing between you and Joe there and you and Brett there at the end. Talk about those last couple laps.
Yeah, really, I'm just here so I don't get fined, Josh.
Again, some great running here tonight. The cautions kind of fell your way there in the beginning, got yourself back onto the lead lap. I know there was an issue there with the black flags and the outside lane. Did that kind of catch you off guard, and were you kind of shocked that we didn't have as many yellow flags as we normally have here at a Bristol race to get you in the position there at the end?
Yeah, I'm just really excited for Rockingham next week and ready to get my car and drive.
Awesome, man. Well, before I let you go, anyone you want to thank? Any shots you got to give?
Just thank this awesome race control team we have, and yeah, thank you, Josh.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the runner-up position, and we look forward to talking to you again soon. So that was your second place finisher, Dustin Dean. Let's bring in your winner here tonight, Devin Butchno. Devin, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. I got you, brother.
Man, I know not some people confused with the race control going on there. I know it wasn't anybody's fault there. Maybe a little bit of iRacing's coding, but you get the black flag for jumping the outside. Get yourself back in a position and get yourself the win here tonight. In the face of adversity, you kind of just never gave up and kept pounding. That kind of seems to be the mentality of Neon Racing this season. Talk us through your race and what your strategy was and what your thoughts were when you found yourself down the hole.
Yeah, Bristol's it's been growing on me the last couple of times we've come here, and didn't think we'd have the speed that we had in practice, and then just barely got the pole, and then we had a really fast truck, and I don't know what's happening with the restart zone, Josh. I mean, David was working, overtime in the race control tonight, so I appreciate Hartney for having to deal with everything coming left and right, because people are getting got left and right. I know Jake did, Dustin did, I did. I mean, it was really brutal on those restarts. I don't know if it's short track, I don't know what's going on that, but it's also the first time we've been here with this rule. But yeah, we were able to make our way back to the front. We got caught up when Eddie got loose. We just didn't have anywhere to go. First pit stop, we accidentally only took 2 tires, and that wasn't fun. So we were able to survive that, and then jumped to restart, hit Eddie, got the truck repaired, and then was able to just find ourselves up front there. We took our last set when we restarted behind Dustin and someone else. I think it was Eddie when we restarted third, but we're really happy to get back in victory lane. Really happy to see Brett and Jake run the way they did. Brett getting third, Jake getting eighth. We're definitely off to a really good start this season. I'm just happy to share it with these guys.
Yeah, for sure. And Brett was saying he didn't really have the speed there. He may have like an 8th place truck, and McCarty was a little bit quicker than him. But I know you got to be happy seeing your guys up there battling for the lead and leading some laps.
I think I absolutely am, but I think it shows, the league as a whole too. I mean, Proby was out there leading laps. Jake was up there running second with him in his second season. I feel like everyone in this league's come a long way. And obviously my guys, because we race we race with anyone more than we've ever raced before. So yeah, just really proud of them. Really good speed on both sides. I know that win's coming really soon for all 3 of them. I mean, Jake got the pole at Charlotte last week. We got the pole today. Got the win. Junior's been doing great in Xfinity. Brett's just feels like he's top 5 every week. So just really proud of these guys.
Yeah, Junior just got caught up in a couple things that he couldn't really control, unfortunately for him. But man, a great run for you tonight. Again, congratulations on the win. That's your 14th career SCSRA win. So before we let you go, anyone you want to thank, any shots you got to give here tonight?
I just want to thank everyone that makes this league, what it is. You guys at Intensity, you at Lee, Dayton, you guys do an awesome job. I want to thank all the league admins as well. Nudie for getting sessions up, Hartney for doing race control tonight. I mean, it was brutal up there for him. So I know we all really appreciate him. Shout out Dev Sports Cards, New Craft Fine Jewelry and Design, McKinleyville Barbershop, and then shout out my parents. I always shout my mom out, but I never shout my dad out. So he'll love to hear this when we watch this tomorrow. So just thanks again, Josh, for doing this. I appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the win. Good luck next week at Rockingham, and we look forward to seeing what you can do there.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Have a great night.
You too. Thanks.
So you have your winner here tonight, Devin Butchino. As we get ready to move on to Rockingham next week. Again, that's going to be another exciting race for sure. So make sure to tune in here on Intensity Broadcasting next week as these drivers take on Rockingham Speedway. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow night as Atlee Atman Weiss will have the call for the Devs Sports Cards Xfinity Series. Don't forget to tune in on Sunday night for the INSS Street Stock Series. And, of course, our truck doubleheader every Tuesday night here on Intensity Broadcasting. We'd like to thank all of our great partners at ECI Racing for all your iRacing setup needs and coaching. Check out raceepi.com. Also, the Butt Kicker. If you're looking to make your sim racing rig just a little bit more realistic, check out the Butt Kicker for their gaming haptics. That way you can feel what the car is doing right there in the seat of your pants. Of course, also check out intensitybroadcasting.com for all your iRacing and Intensity Broadcasting novelty gear. Again, thank you for joining us here tonight. And as our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say, over and out.